How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Whiskey Year. Today we are at Bevy's Liquor World. This looks like a Bass Pro Shop. It's a beautiful store from the outside. Joe, Nate, we got Josh with us, but Joe and Nate have been here before. I have not. So let's go inside and see the selection. Thanks for being here. Woodford double oak pick? Come on, come with me. All right, y'all, we're inside now of Bevy's and kind of blown away. Again, this legit reminds me of a Bass Pro Shop when you're inside. I don't know if you can see, but like way out there, how high the ceilings are. Like it feels like you're in an adult. I say an adult Bass Pro, but Bass Pro is for adults. This is just for older adults, I guess. So we're gonna browse the selection now, starting with everything Colorado. Not gonna talk too much on all these. Actually, we did just try some of the Family Jones stuff. Big fan, you already know. I'm a 291 lover. I know some people dislike it, but here, just take a look at all the Colorado selections that they have. They just have cases of Buffalo Trace sitting in the middle. Another cool thing that they have, live music. Live music playing back there while you're browsing the shelves. And I gotta say, the dude sounds just like Willie Nelson. It's kind of scary. Right here, you have your this is a pretty display of Green River products. They have the rye, the bourbon, and the wheated. I'm a big fan of the wheated. I like the bourbon when it comes to cocktails. I've heard great things about this rye. 37 bucks for the rye, and here they are. And then this is, look, we talked about this in a recent store, this Moonlight Mayhem. They have some of the coolest labels in the whiskey game right now. I believe it's a California company, but a Kentucky whiskey. And on the back, it kind of looks like a movie poster. The people that created it are ex-movie producers, from what I'm told. But super pretty bottle, super cool looking. If you're into collecting and you have a nice display of whiskey, I feel like those would do great. Just like sometimes people just buy blends because it looks great. It's kind of one of those things as well. And then right under it, a fantastic selection of the Redwood Empire. A lot of their cask strengths. My personal favorite is going to be this Grizzly Beast. They also have a Foggy Barrel, which is the single malt. Really great. So again, really fantastic selection of that Redwood Empire. Smoke Wagon. I got to give a shout out to Steve Campbell real quick. He likes to call Smoke Wagon Choke Wagon just because he's not a fan, but I'm a huge fan. I think it's fantastic. Whoa, look what I just found. A cask strength rye from Still Awesome. Oh, and the cask strength. Y'all know how much of a fan I am of this, and these both would come home with me. Except I'm gonna show you what's gonna come home with me. Eventually we're gonna make it there, but that's crazy. I've never seen that. I honestly didn't even know they made a cask strength rye, but I can imagine it's phenomenal. Avoid at all costs. Just kidding. They have Campfire here. Cask collections, these have to be pretty good, right? I love High West stuff, guys, besides the Campfire. I've heard great things about those cask selections. $74.99 for them. Another Ben Holiday. I mean, this store is just lined up with absolute killers when it comes to bourbon. Fiddler as well is something I don't see in Colorado ever. Josh was telling me that the Toasted, this specific one, the Toasted is really fantastic for $77. Dexter, of course. The Dexter Wheat is one that's really not that easy to find. A lot of stores that you go to, they might just have a few and that's it. And then, of course, Bacta. I have this bottle right here and I absolutely love it. I've tasted this bottle, 2013, $139.99. And I'm serious, the closest thing that I can compare this to is, like, in regards to taste, Pappy 15. I mean, it's that good. It's fantastic. $139.99. Oh, look at this. They have a cask strength of their the Pumpernickel Rye whiskey. I love Middle West products. I've just never personally seen a cask strength. Can't really say the store where it's going to be, but I was part of a barrel pick where we did a pumpernickel pick, so I know how good these are. $79.99 for that. Dang, look at that crazy Widow Jane selection too. You got Decadence just on the shelf. That was allocated not that long ago, I want to say. Got the 10-year. My personal favorite for the price is going to be the Applewood Rye. Fantastic stuff. Keeper's Heart Irish and Bourbon. We also just tried this Irish and American Finish and Maple barrels from them. Keeper's Heart is killing it. I believe they're, don't quote me, but I want to say they're a Minnesota company. Absolutely amazing. All right, now that was just one shelf. Let's go to the next one. Look at this bad boy. Is that why they call it a handle of whiskey? Because they used to come in a handle. I feel like dangerous with this thing. Like, I probably shouldn't have one of these in my hand for too long, is what I feel like, just walking home, you know. Anyway, Henry McKenna handles. Bernheim barrel proof, man. Batch B, 923, $65.99 for that. Nate, behind the camera here, has let me try some Bernheim barrel proof. Love it. Fantastic. Good stuff for the price. I've actually never seen one in the store in person yet. Henry McKenna, the 10-year Henry McKenna, $64.99, and then Pikesville Rye right next to it's fantastic as well. Elijah Craig Toasted, those are kind of sitting on the shelf right now, which is pretty cool. They used to be somewhat of an allocation. Now they're just on the shelves, which is great. They have their Elijah Craig private barrel. So this is their single barrel coming in at 8 years old, 119 proof. That's actually really nice. That sounds kind of solid for me. A little younger compared to what the barrel proofs are themselves. Like this is a 10-year, 9-month coming in at 119 proof, and this is going to be 8 years old. However, single barrel versus a batch. Knob Creek, they have a Bevy's Knob Creek Rye store pick right here. I feel like, you know, that's what's kind of cool about Knob Creek. I'm not the biggest fan, but if I was, I would be very happy that almost every single store has a pick of Knob Creek. You know what I mean? They're not impossible to find. $50 for a pick. $50 for a pick. If you're a fan of Knob Creek, you're gonna absolutely love it. Maker's French Oak Cask Strength. Now, this is one that I think I've talked about before. I was not a big fan of when I first cracked it, but after a while of letting it open up, it's delicious. For those of you that really enjoy watching some Fred Minnick C923 Larceny Barrel Proof, this was one of his, top 3, I think, of the year. Absolutely awesome. Actually, really awesome to see that they still have this specific batch back here on the shelf, and a good bit of it. Then moving on, you got Old Ezra 7, the Rye, Ezra Brooks Cask Collection. This is a Bevy's store pick as well. And then you have your Woodford Double Oaked, but the reason that one of those bottles aren't coming home with me today is because I personally never found in the wild a Woodford Double Oaked store pick, and today they have one. I was able to taste a Woodford Double Oaked store pick. Blew me away. Have like marshmallow s'mores all day long, $70. So literally $10 more than what they have the other one, or $12 more. That's coming home with me for sure. So we're gonna continue on the shelf, but that's why that one's coming. Good Michter selection. You know, Bullet Single Malt, man. I haven't heard anyone talk about the Bullet Single Malt. You can't even tell what color it is, just how black the bottle is. But $57.99, Bullet's stepping up and getting into the single malt game. I'm curious to know about it because I'm not the craziest Bullet fan, but if you've tried it, let me know. Russell's store pick as well for $7. That's a really good price actually compared to some places that have them. $70 for a Russell's pick. Here it is, Buzzard's Roost cigar and the barrel strength. I recently tried this cigar, actually today. Nate gave us a sample of it and I really enjoyed it. It's definitely unique. It's definitely a one and done. I don't think anybody can have those back to back to back when it comes to pours, but I was a big fan. What you got there?
King's Family Distillery, so they're out of Tennessee. I believe it's like Seaverville, Tennessee.
Finishing a honey barrel.
So yeah, they've been putting out. It's MGP, but they've been putting out a lot of finished stuff, and specifically like their Toasted Amberana and their Iconic.
Yeah,
they're supposed to be really, really good. Their Iconic is people line that up against like the Jack Daniel's Twice Barreled.
Really?
Yeah. So they're supposed to be putting out good stuff, and I mean, as we've said in the videos before, 95.5 MGP rye, you're not going to make.
Yeah, it's not bad.
You can't really mess that up. It's one of the best rye mash bills on the market.
And then coming up, they have a really nice Nulu selection for when it comes to Colorado. The French Oak, their Reserve, their Toasted, Amberana. Nulu Amberana is always pretty solid, and the straight bourbon whiskey. The Ocean Rye, aged at Ocean. Oh, I'll find out a lot about Jefferson's Ocean. I did not know that they had a weeded mash bill when it comes to it. I literally never knew that. Then they have the Jefferson's Tropics, and Nate and I, in one of our video hunts, we saw one from, what was it, 2021?
I think it was 21, yeah.
21, and they have this year's 2024 of the Barrel New Year, excuse me, and I heard someone in the comments that told me that they really enjoy those a lot. Batch 35 here. I think this is the really good one that people always talk about. $81.99 is actually a pretty fair price for that too. Then coming up, you have Peerless, of course. I'm a huge fan of Peerless. The Double Oaked Rye and the standard Double Oaked Bourbon are just absolutely hitters. I mean, they are heavy hitters. when it comes to whiskey on my shelf, I'm always drinking them. RD1 is something that's just now hitting the shelves of Colorado. You have the straight bourbon whiskey, Amburana. I've tasted it. I put that up against any other Amburana, and personally, that maple finish is just delicious. I think Nate, myself, Jaron, we all bought a bottle the other day from Security. Absolutely fantastic bottle. And then if you could, oh wow, look, they have a Doc Holiday too. Now this, first of all, this bottle's sick. The label's cool. It looks like some old dollar bill, like way back in the day with a bull. And look at that. The cap is a revolver. You know, this comes from American Whiskey Society, I believe. And never had their stuff personally. But if any of you have had it, let me know what you think of it. And if you want to take a look, I mean, this is quite the shelf. They have a Willet Green Top 10-year for $4.99. Woodford Reserve Baccarat. That's crazy. Some Four Gates all the way to the right down here too. Never tasted anything from Four Gate. Some Widow Jane 15 on top as well. And I did hear that they are done making the 15. Not sure how true that is. We're gonna go now to show you their store picks. Come on. They have their own Yellowstone pick. I'm not crazy over it. This is really cool. Coors Own finish expression. I've only ever seen anything from Buffalo Trace Distillery. I know, but Sazerac owns 1792 buck. These are finished in 1792 bourbon barrels. $39.99 for a tequila. You really can't beat that. And apple brandy, not whiskey. Now all the rest of these that you see, for the majority, are all whiskey. So let's get into it. Whistle pick 10 pick? That's actually not the easiest pick to find. I've only ever seen 2 whistle pick picks, this being the second. Not only do they have that one at 10 years old, but they also have a piggyback 6 as well. And for people that do know or don't know, I am in love with Maker's Mark, especially when it comes to Maker's Mark picks. $69.99 for this pick is a solid price because, again, they're normally around the $80 range, but for a store pick of Maker's Mark, guys, these people are creating their own wood stave profile when it comes to the barrel. They're just perfect. I love Maker's Pick. Never heard of this. Have you heard of this before, Nate?
Yeah.
Personally selected Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey.
It's like an Elmer TV bottle.
It does, yeah. It is an Elmer bottle. Coming in at 94 proof. You know, I can't tell if it's a cool logo or if it's a cheap looking whiskey. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But either way, 60 bucks for a brand I've never heard of. I would love to taste it. That's really neat. Koval, another one I haven't heard of. Koval bottled in bond rye. And that's a single barrel as well. Straight malt whiskey. This is the Keeper's Heart that we were talking about earlier. Keeper's Heart at 60 bucks, and it's Irish and American whiskey finished in maple barrels. It's quite delicious for 60 bucks. Anything that they've made that I've tasted is awesome. You ever heard of this before? Colorado Straight Bourbon Whiskey? What is this? Peach Street Distillers. It's a really cool logo. I like the way that they put the sticker like that. $49.99 and the proof, 92 proof. So another low proof pick. That's actually kind of neat. Boulder Spirits American Single Malt, and this is also coming in at 92 proof as well, $49.99. I'm a huge fan of the Boulder barrel strength. And then for $94.99 they have their barrel private release, and it says yakety yak, drink it back. That's a cool sticker. Yakety yak, drink it back. Ooh, this is a private barrel smoke wagon rye whiskey coming from Smoke Wagon, of course. Anyway, yeah, Smoke Wagon private barrels normally have that red wax with a black bottle, but I've personally never seen a rye pick of a Smoke Wagon before, so that is pretty neat. Stranahan single barrel coming in at cash strength too. You know, when you get a Stranahan single barrel cash strength, those are pretty freaking awesome. Blue Note, Juke Joint, single barrel, $49.99. I'm gonna stop saying single barrel. I feel like I'm saying it too much. They're all single barrels, people, okay? Fireside, single barrel. And
Holy crap, dude, this is a hazmat. Did you see that?
no way.
Look at that.
It's 150 proof.
$64.99.
No, and it's a Colorado brand too.
6 years.
We got to find out if we can taste that. That's crazy.
150 proof.
150. Angel's Envy pick as well. I mean, pretty blown away by what this store has. Got Willie Nelson singing, dude. Am I crazy, or does he sound like Willie Nelson? You might not be able to hear, but he sounds just like Willie Nelson. Dude, the shelf here had probably the most like just the best selection that a store can offer that I've seen before. Just the quantity of bourbons, even the whiskeys that I've never seen before are just here. We just finished up at Bevy's Liquor World, and he got a Glencairn. It's actually pretty sweet. I like the little logo, man, the little guy. But I gotta say, you know, there's still, Security Discount Liquor still holds a special place in my heart. But when it comes to like just the overwhelming, really cool, really awesome store that you're just not gonna find everywhere, Bevy's has done a great job. Now look, this is what we're going home with today. So this Fireside, talk about fire, 150 proof 6-year whiskey. Hey, let me know in the comments, have you ever seen something 150? I've seen maybe 143 at the most, so 150 is pretty crazy. And Joe, don't know why he does this to me, but I appreciate it. He bought me this Bevy's store pick Woodford Double Oak. He also gave me a sample of it not that long ago, and I absolutely fell in love with it. This stuff is just phenomenal. So 2 great bottles, a fantastic store. I will definitely be back. It's maybe an hour on the dot drive from my house, so we'll definitely be back here. Want to thank Josh, want to thank Joe for coming out. What a great hunt we had today. Thank you, Nate, also for filming these videos upside down. Woo! And thanks for everyone that's in the Patreon too. If you haven't gone in the Patreon, I'll leave the link below. We have a good time in there, but we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.